It gives you a whole new like way of doing this model where you can go target much bigger cities because I think we've been maybe a little bit too focused on targeting cities that are 80,000 population, but hopefully these strategies will open your mind to being able to tackle bigger markets, bigger cities by creating brands that target more specific keywords, essentially. Let's just look at another example like concrete, right? I've seen students go into this niche quite a bit over the recent years. Concrete foundation repair. Okay. That seems like a big job, right? Concrete leveling. That seems huge as well. Do concrete foundation repair. You see how this map listing used the exact match? Chicago foundations and concrete pros. You see how it's ranked at the top? Again, it is a cheat code in this business model. Let's see what their website looks like. Foundation concrete contractor. Oh, this is not even their like brand. Like this is a nationwide lead gen property. For most people, I do not recommend trying to do this nationwide because like I get it, I get the temptation of creating one site and creating like a nationwide like brand like this, but you can also run into a lot of headaches when map listing. They just stacked content on this thing like no other. Yeah, I'd be worried about listings like this getting suspended. Listen, if you had a company in Chicago that you really want to work with, or something like you can outrank this guy because this guy's just ranking off page. So these things don't have that much longevity either, which is the problem because this listing or this lead gen property right here is completely dependent on the map listing. And so if you created a brand called Chicago Concrete Foundation Repair, it'll rank at the top. And that has more longevity and stability because it's not a map list. And it's a website brand that's ranked at the top. So that's going to provide more longevity. Whereas with this map listing, you just never know because you can search this in different parts of Chicago and you might get different results. This guy might not even show up. Or you can search concrete foundation repair and you're just in Chicago. You might not put Chicago in there and then this guy would not show up, but your website should show up because it knows that you're searching from Chicago and the brand name. Concrete foundation repair should begin to show up. Even if they don't put Chicago in the search, Google will be able to know that brand is in Chicago. Again, when you search these kind of queries and you see these kind of brands, don't be too discouraged because map listings can produce fast results, but it's also not as consistent. These results at the top three might change depending on where you're located and where you're searching from in all over Chicago. Just keep that in mind. Ellen says try foundation crack repair. First, I want to see foundation crack repair is getting national search. Okay, 9,000. I like to see that. That's definitely a good volume. With Chicago, it only has 40. Okay, so people are definitely trying to target foundation crack repair. Yeah, only DR of 9. Hardly any DR. Remember, it's all the off pages ranking here as well. This one doesn't have the word Chicago, Illinois. So these guys are trying to rank for this. Average, oh, I don't know. Average price of foundation crack repair. Yeah, it's worth trying. I don't know if you have experience with this niche. People are definitely targeting it in Chicago, so it definitely is getting volume. It's definitely like working for some people. There's also other terms like this too, basement crack repair. The reason why I'm like looking around is just because, and these numbers are not accurate all the time either. It only shows 40 monthly search according to keywords everywhere. So it's just like, how much are people searching for foundation repair? Like how often do foundations get cracks where people try to repair? I don't know if there's that much volume now. Now, with that being said, you created a brand like Chicago Foundation Crack Repair, could potentially rank it all across in all these different neighborhoods of Chicago as well, like Arlington Heights. And yeah, it's not going to show much search volume there, but you could essentially blanket all of Chicago's metropolitan area with a brand like Chicago Foundation Crack Repair because people are going to think that's like a waterproofing and foundation repair go together. Okay. Yeah, so waterproofing would be another keyword that you could target. So let's try like basement waterproofing. Yeah, that gets more volume, like 408. Perma-seal basement systems. Yeah, these guys got pretty strong. Again, we're looking at Chicago, right? Chicago is like millions of population. We could be looking at cities of 300,000 Probably not as much competition as what we're looking at. Chicagoland waterproofing. Yeah, that's the thing though, right? Like waterproofing and crack repair might go together, but it's all about capturing that visitor when they're searching for however they're searching for, right? Some people are gonna search waterproofing, some people are gonna search crack repair, basement crack repair. And so if that person searches for Chicago waterproofing, basement or whatever, like this guy's gonna get that lead. Unless you build a really dominant site like this that can rank for multiple keywords because you built such a high with a brand, like with this strategy of going into big cities, it's better to hone in on that one singular keyword. Unless there is no competition for the other keyword, but chances are when there's search volume, there is going to be competition. Because if I had a brand called Chicago Foundation Crack Repair, and then I try to rank for Chicago waterproofing basement, like this brand is now more relevant for that keyword because this brand is actually called US Waterproofing. And this one is called PermaSeal Basement Systems. Does that make sense? So these brands, Google is looking at them as more relevant to that search query.